This summer's movie stampede, The Lion King may have the last roar. Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin breathed new life into the Disney kingdom. Now, Disney has given eye-to-eye rare access to the birth of its latest animation, The Lion King. Our Bill Lagatuda was there for the labor pains and is in our Los Angeles studio now. Bill?
Connie, Disney has had much more success lately with its animated pictures than its live-action films, which explains, I think, why the people you're about to meet have put so much into this latest project. This was unlike any movie set we've ever seen.
It's home to Mercy Go.
Traffic. Noon traffic.
This is what it's like going off to work if your work is making a Disney animated picture. It's goofy around here. Grown men acting like animals.
They call me Mr. Pig.
Real animals posing for portraits.
Alrighty, what do we got here?
What you've got here is your basic making of a blockbuster.
Oh, cool.
Let an old pro show you how it's done.
Yes, sir.
The methodical, painstaking way of doing it is why making The Lion King has taken 4 years.
Yes, Simba, but let me explain.
When we arrived, they were in their final 80 days till the premiere, and veteran producer Don Hahn was prowling the halls.
So at this point, how much of the film is left to be done?
We have about a third of it left to go, left to color. So it's kind of a mad dash for the tape right now.
Okay, so all I'm saying is as he's now moving in here, if,
That's Jeffrey Katzenberg, chairman of the studio, pushing some editing buttons.
Coming at it.
Pushing everybody's buttons, really, to make sure The Lion King is born on time.
There's more to see than can ever be seen.
The music was composed by Elton John. And for the first time, Disney is not working from a fairy tale. The script is original.
Kind of Joseph and Moses meet kind of Shakespearean overtones with Hamlet meets Elton John in Africa.
Still, it is a classic Disney-esque coming-of-age story. Set in Africa with no humans in it, only animals, it stars the noble Lion King Mufasa, his young cub Simba, who must learn the meaning of responsibility.
One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
And this'll all be mine?
Everything.
I will be king.
But the evil Uncle Scar has plans of his own, and the film takes on a darker tone, chilling at times, and definitely more adult.
No, fool, we're gonna kill him. And Simba, too.
This movie goes to where no other animated movie artistically has ever gone before.
Is this the kind of movie that Walt Disney would make?
Please, 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 don't anybody ever say, what would Walt have done? I don't have a clue. None of us know what he would have done.
How does the studio of the Seven Dwarfs make an animated feature today? The answer, we found out, at least technically, is just about the same as when Walt was running things.
In other words, the cartoon character must seem to have a cartoon brain. Wait.
It's still done one drawing at a time. 24 drawings to make just 1 second of film. And when you put them back to back...
Yep, they're all there now.
Just know that it's just not looking hard enough.
Andreas Deha is one of today's Disney artists. He was assigned to draw the film's heavy, the wonderfully wicked Scar.
His head is lower, you know, his strides are a little longer.
Precisely.
So I'm giving you a real typical Scar, sort of smug expression. He's got these
But
long
even before the
eyebrows.
first facial features are put on paper, the artist needs to hear the character.
I despise guessing games.
That's because in animation, the voice is recorded first.
You're so weird.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
Academy Award winner Jeremy Irons had played villains before, but never acted like this.
I'm only looking out for the well-being of my favorite nephew.
How do you make that voice into a character?
You're not using a face at all. You're not using your body. You try to have the sound tell all the story.
But I suppose you'd have found out sooner or later.
Then somebody listens to that and puts the face on that's making that sound. And that is quite extraordinary. I mean, I think that is true animation.
What Jeremy Irons didn't know was what Andreas Deha was planning to do with that pencil.
So some of his looks kind of snuck into the final design.
I mean, there's no doubt that this face inspired this.
No, 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 no. This is just for you and your daddy.
Is that you?
I don't think that's me, Jeremy. But I think it's me, Scar.
Everybody look left. Everybody look right.
Watching The Lion King come to life, you never would have guessed that animation as an art form nearly died with the death of Walt Disney himself. 600 people are rushing to finish this movie.
Just a few years ago, though, it wasn't like this around here, was it?
No, it really wasn't. I was here then. It was a kind of a dying craft. The guys that had started out with Walt were retiring. The baton hadn't been passed.
Wow, that's great.
And then there was a brand new studio chief, Jeffrey Katzenberg, with a reputation for efficiency and no experience with cartoons.
Oh, goody.
When you came to Disney about 10 years ago, you didn't believe in animation. In fact, the animators saw you coming and said, "We're dead."
Yes, there is no question. When I first arrived here, I saw animation as something that I, quote, had to do. It was a responsibility. There is no question that, you know, in the course of doing our responsibility in this, I fell in love with animation.
Beauty and the Beast.
So did America after this little mega hit, and then this one.
All right! Hang on to your turban, kid!
The Lion King has much of the same Disney humor.
Why do I always have to save you?
Zazu. Yes? Sir, news from the underground.
Same Disney heart.
Dad? We're pals, right?
Right.
But how will children react to this? A heart-pounding scene which actually shows the murder of King Mufasa.
Brother, help me!
Long live the king.
Was there any concern about showing the death of the father lion in this? Because, as you know, a whole generation of us were traumatized when Bambi's mother passed on.
Well, traumatized. We all did survive through it.
We survived, but it was pretty tough for some of us.
But that's a good tough. Have we been concerned about it? You bet. In every conceivable way that you can think of. And at the same time, understand that the best thing these movies can do is to confront real life through this make-believe world.
Dad!
Back in the real world, it's now just weeks before the movie's release, and with hardly any notice, Katzenberg and company hold a sneak preview for the public and let us come along.
It's terrifying, but you have no idea till you send it out in front of an audience.
What we in the audience view is a very rough cut. A lot of it is not even colored in yet.
Hey! Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
When the lights come up, the boss looks a little worried.
But the fact is, everyone around the table is saying, you know, something's wrong with that.
Half an hour later, in the back room of a Chinese restaurant, we watch as the production team tears into dinner and their own work.
There's a whole lot of camera stuff that was totally missing, and it is flat right now.
Between the egg rolls and the main course, the results of an instant poll are rushed in.
They're very good. Every single group is above average, whether it be
The audience approves, but Katzenberg doesn't. Not yet, anyway. He doesn't think the final scene works.
He slashes him there. Scar should say, get him. Just boom.
So, with very little time till the premiere, the team has to blow up the ending.
So what time are we on tomorrow?
As the next day dawns at Disney, there's going to be some overtime.
We're back in sync at the tail.
Editors, touch-up artists, background painters head back into the jungle.
I need to take all the sunshine out of that front grass.
One problem with the ending, the flames weren't realistic enough. Solution? Build a fire. And this time, get it right.
Is it great? It's gotta be.
But not yet.
Not yet.
The pictures need some new sounds. Which means one of the actors is called back to record some important bits of dialogue. This fanatical attention to detail is why it takes so long.
Get the scene done!
The characters behind the characters seem to thrive on the pressure.
We gotta get that thing to color. Big bucks are on the line. Big bucks!
Tony Bancroft and Mike Surrey animated the film's supporting characters, Pumbaa and Timon.
Hakuna Matata?
Yeah, it's our motto.
What's the motto?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
Who carry what Disney hopes will be the summer's catchiest tune.
It's our problem-free philosophy. Yeah!
Hakuna Matata. Matata. Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't rip you apart.
Finally, after several frenzied days of tinkering, the new finale is ready to show to the boss.
When they come together, there's going to be a very large explosion of sparks and fire behind them.
What if you held on that? And you hear Mufasa, I mean, you hear...
He drives us crazy, and he comes over and has sometimes suggestions that are out of left field, but what he's usually saying is, I don't know the solution,
I don't know how.
But it's not firing off, it's not working. Do better, do better, do better.
Hey, I've got it. What if he's on our side?
This is great, though. This is great.
On the final day we nosed around, those last-minute pieces of audio were being mixed together with the music. Some of which was still being sung by a native African choir. Rough animation was being colored in, with a computer now instead of a paintbrush, but still one frame at a time. There was only one scene in the movie so complex that a computer had to take over. The stampede sequence took 2.5 years to build, and it was finally done.
What's in here?
There was only one place around here we weren't allowed to see, Disney's technical laboratory.
You're serious? We can't see in there.
It's animation magic. I could tell you, Bill, but we'd have to kill you later.
For 83 minutes of film, it took 1 million drawings. This is just the trash can. At the end of this long day, even we were a little out of breath. But by the time we sat down with Jeffrey Katzenberg in his private screening room, he was finally happy.
On a scale of 10, we need an 11, and I think they delivered a 12.
Now, Bill, I know you're too modest to tell everybody, but I hear that you are Disney's newest discovery, and we have your screen test. Let's take a look.
Oh, I can see Jeremy Irons right now. I can see him right now. There we go.
Looks like Scar to me.
Well,
ta-da!
It looks like one of Scar's brothers, maybe. All I have to do is do this 24 more times per frame.
And you've got a whole second of action.
And we've got a second of it.
Bill, that was really good. You're so professional.
Years ago, I thought I might want to be a cartoonist. Didn't quite work out, but it was such a great thrill to sit down next to Andreas Deha. He's one of the best. Very, very, very much fun.
I'll bet. Well, don't even think about letting Disney steal you away from us. We're not going to let that happen. Thanks, Bill.